Last week, my thoughts were on the negative power of no. So this week, my head did a 180-degree turn. The power of yes is so much more rewarding after all. And there are so many ways we express yes, beyond the simple word, of course. And even in saying it, we convey so many different meanings. The breathless yes of an accepted proposal is a far cry from the worn down yes after the badgering of your preteen. But nods and smiles with varying levels of enthusiasm are among the many ways we convey our yes. One of the greatest gifts we have to give and share is confidence and confirmation. Yet another way we can give a yes. It's a way of giving love, and that is always a good thing. But too often, we inadvertently quash a good idea, or fail to encourage a timid first step, or ignore budding talent. It's easy. We all have pretty full plates. Things to be done, chores to finish, reports to be written, and of course, my thoughts to be read. So quite often, to ignore is easier than to explore. It isn't our intent to brush others and their ideas off, but it happens. And yet the rewards for both are well worth the investment of time. Sharing a nascent, budding idea and nodding approvingly and thus helping a dream become reality is a simple thing to do, but a great gift to receive. Virtually everyone who reads my thoughts is among the privileged and fortunate few of this planet. Not because you get my mailings, but because you live in Canada where you get an education for free, don't die of untreated illnesses, have a legal system that presumes innocence, a democracy that supports public scoldings without consequence, and the freedom to follow our ambitions and our faith. So when looking outside our borders, we should at the very least be smiling at our own good fortune. It's easy to take all we have for granted. So this is a reminder that we need to be looking at ways of sharing some of that good fortune. And while some will write a check for a good cause or travel to a distant land to serve others, what I am recommending is far easier, just outside your front door, and doesn't cost a dime. Sharing our skills and talents, our experience and our gifts with another person or project or organization is a goal we should all have. The reality is that people starting out on a dream need encouragement and advice, and too often they run into fault finding that ends a potential future success. It's easy to dismiss tentative feelers seeking that help or just see them as conversation fillers, whereas they really are tentative because ideas are like babies that need protection from criticism. They need to be cozened and encouraged, incubated for the future. It's hard to feel positive around scowls and frowns. It's hard to advance a tentative idea in a hostile environment. But in a positive, happy world, dreams can far more easily be shared and improved upon and fortified and tested, all the steps that it takes to create something new and improved and hopeful. And what does a nod and a smile and an interested ear cost? Nothing. And what are the rewards? Well, to be part of the launching pad that starts something new. Dreamers and launchers need someone who pats them on the back and encourages them to follow their heart. Now, I know it sounds like I'm just talking about starting a business or creating some new invention, but it isn't just such things as that. It's listening to the star-struck suitor who's working up the courage to take the first step toward a new relationship. It's the new mother who doesn't trust her own instincts. It's the student who has just moved into the neighborhood and faces having to start at the new school. Listening and encouraging and a bit of sage or hard-won advice goes a long way. And part of that is using the art of knowing, to know what to ignore. You don't have to encourage what is wrong and clearly won't work, but you can shift the conversation to explore what will lead to new answers and new directions and new pathways to follow to success. With the Olympics on, we've cheered and groaned and jumped up and down at our TVs, and that is really what I'm talking about. being a cheerleader for the home team, for the first timer, and for the veteran. We all know how to egg our athletes on and award them with applause and whoops and hollers, and conversely, how to moan and hold our heads in sympathy. They say that the home crowd can make an enormous difference to a team. In basketball, they call that crowd the sixth member of the team. So our goal is to be the home crowd and to jump up and down and cheer and channel what we already know into the everyday encounters, challenges, and dreams that we support. Surely we can all look back at a lifetime of those who cheered us on, who opened doors, who showed an interest, and a caring that made all the difference in what we dared to do. And hopefully such people are found in greater numbers than those who shot you down or ignored you or discouraged you and told you that it couldn't be done or wouldn't work or laughed at the very idea. Some people just seem to be dour and grumpy and unhappy, and they spread the mood like measles. It's really hard to convince yourself that you can do something when a voice is forever whispering in your ear, "Now that's a waste of time," or "Whatever made you think you could do that?" And we've all run into such folks. But over the years, I've come to have a great deal of sympathy for them, even though I don't want to spend much time in their company. They will never know the delights of being midwife to a grand new happening or the cheering section for a new adventure. If we just avoid inflicting on others our own doubts and insecurities, we've gone a long way into being a better friend or colleague. If we can learn how to share our ups and suppress the downs, we can make all those we encounter happier and better and more successful. After all, happiness is not something you get, but something that you do and encourage. Have you ever noticed how difficult it is to frown at someone who is determinedly and happily smiling at you? And how impossible it is not to laugh with someone who's genuinely amused and roaring with laughter? A smile of approbation just makes one feel positive, and it all unites one for a moment, and that can never happen too often. It's all part of the theology that says you treat another the way you would like to be treated. Now, isn't that the easiest of tests? A simple test, a simple act, and you may be launching the next great discovery or relationship or artist. I was lucky. I had a father who ascribed to the notion that you can do anything that you set your mind to. When you hear that often enough, early enough, it becomes a mantra that works whenever you find yourself facing a problem. There used to be a very popular book called The Power of Positive Thinking, which effectively said the same thing, a notion I attest to. And since that book was on my parents' bookshelf, it may be the source of my father's philosophy and encouragement. But no matter how self-sufficient and confident you may be, it really helps to have others invested in your success and cheering you on. A world where others are doing some of that positive thinking for you, and you doing it for others. Saying, "Yes, you can." Just 3 simple words, but they can make a world of difference to someone wavering on the fence, trying to decide whether to take the leap forward or whether to abandon hope. Mentors are found in every field, and the best of them helps the mentee dismantle blockades and mend fences and find the inner fortitude, the guts to proceed. It doesn't take gray hair with years of experience or graduate degrees or wealth and success to mentor. It takes a listening ear and a willing heart, an inquisitive mind to ask questions and make suggestions and show a genuine interest in the person and their project. The bonus, beyond knowing you're doing what is right, is your own life being enriched. There may be only one conversation, or it may grow into shared hours mulling over problems and finding solutions and ever being the cheering section. It gives you your own little soap opera where you get to peer over a shoulder and see things through another's eyes and share in the insights and the excitements and help pick them up and dust them off and help them to start all over again when things don't go as planned. and disappointments inevitably come along the road to success. You have that power, the power of yes, the power to help to make things happen. I suggest you set a goal of finding someone to listen to, instead of looking for someone to listen to you. And then share their dreams and their fears and their hopes, and then cheer them on, console them, and encourage them. It really is both interesting and satisfying for you. For them, it is the power of confidence that you give them. It's a wonderful gift. Spread it around. Spread it thick and often, and watch the world brighten for both of you. So try it out. Ask questions, nod your head, listen, offer a pat on the back, and best of all say, yes, you can do it. And that is the happiness of yes. Take up the challenge and delight in your discoveries and experiences and the mysteries of how it all works out. In the meantime, yes, go for it, to your dreams, your delights, and the dreams of those you encounter. So may it be. Amen. Planning something nice for someone else feels awfully good, particularly after all this time when we're distanced and unable to reach out a hand or lend an ear or meet a stranger or a friend. So we've lots of catching up to do. And yes, there is no time like the present.